there, my name is Kim of ExshawQuilts.com, and you're listening to Quilts from the Cabin. So this is my cabin, and I'm a quilt designer, natural dyer, and I love traditional piecing and big stitch hand quilting. So actually that's how I got into quilting. Was I fell in love with hand quilting. It is such a beautiful art. Definitely try it. I have tutorials here on my channel that you can go check out, and if you want to learn how to quilt from first cut to last stitch, I have a workshop. It is very affordable. Over on my website, it's ExshawQuilts.com. I'll have all the links in the description if you want to go and check that out. But yeah, so I wanted to share some of my finished objects. I have quite a few, so I'm not going to go through everything because we would be here for hours, but I will show you some of my favorites. And like I said, all of the links will be in the description, so you can go check out those patterns if you wish. So yeah, let's start. So my first finished objects, which one I want to show first? I think it's going to be the bag. That has been like the hot ticket item lately. I've sold so many patterns of this bag. But this is a hand-dyed indigo, and I do share the recipe on my blog for free. So if you're interested in natural dyeing, I use a lot of indigo. It's my favorite natural dye ever. So I do share the pattern over on my blog, and there's a free pattern there too. And I do offer actually that potholder back there is a free pattern when you subscribe to my email list. So definitely go check that out. So anyway, this is the Ohio Star tote bag, and oh my goodness, this was such a joy to make. It's one of my favorite makes. I used like a fun kind of quirky lining for this. It was like leftover fabric that I had, so I just used whatever for the lining, but it's so basic, beginner friendly, and it was like really fun to make this. I do recommend. So this is all quilted, and then I hand quilted. Big stitch hand quilted the panels there, and then I stitched them all together. So yeah, this is like such a fun make. And I actually made another variety of this too, because this was such a popular pattern in my shop that I had to make like another design. So I'll show you that right now. So this is the other one that I did. I can't remember what I called this one right now. It escapes my mind. But this one was a lot of fun to make as well, and easy. So I use a lot of like half square triangles to make my designs because I really enjoy them. And they are so friendly for beginners as well, so you don't have to feel intimidated. And a lot of the times I do like 4 at a time or 8 at a time, half square triangles to make the whole process even a little bit easier. So, and then for this one, I thought was really cool. I had my daughter is so talented. She's such an artist. So I had her, she makes these like hand-drawn, hand-carved stamps, and they're fantastic. So I was like, oh my goodness, I have to use some of your stamps for the bag lining. So I'm going to turn this right side out, or wrong side out, so I can show you. But actually, you could use this as a reversible bag too. I never thought of that. But so I stamped these like really cool beetles for the lining, and it's just a lot of fun. I got the material from the lining material from the Legion. They have like their flea market every week, so I like to buy the tablecloths and then stamp them, and I thought it was like a lot of fun. So get creative, stamp your fabric, get like white fabric wherever you can, and then you can hand stamp it. And you can buy stamps off of, you don't have to hand carve them, but you can get stamps off of Amazon or wherever, even the dollar store, I bet. And you can stamp them with fabric paint. What I did was I actually used regular acrylic paint, and then I added a, I forget what it's called. It's like an additive that you add into the regular acrylic paint in order to make fabric paint. So that's what I did, and then I just stamped it, and it was like a lot of fun, and they're so cute. So I did that for a couple of projects. so this whole collection actually is for my daughter's grad. So she really loves this quilt that I made. Actually, it's the Lemoyne Star pattern. Oh my goodness. Pattern that is in my shop. I'm sorry, I'm just so excited about filming this podcast. If I'm talking too fast, I promise I will calm down for the next. I'm just so nervous about doing this. So anyway, it's been a hot minute since I did any podcasting and stuff, and showing my face online. So yeah, I'm a little bit nervous. So if I'm talking fast, I apologize. Don't come at me in the comments. Like, don't be mean. But anyway, this whole collection, my indigo collection, was inspired by my daughter, because I made this quilt quite a few years ago, actually, for her using my naturally dyed indigo, and she just loves that quilt so much. So I was like, I love indigo. Like, I'm so obsessed with indigo. So I dyed up a bunch of fabric, and since then I've been making this indigo collection. So a lot of the fabric, a lot of the patterns right now, you'll see like blue in them, and that you can get indigo colors from Kona and Northcott and all of the big fabric companies. So you don't have to hand dye them if you don't want, but I really enjoy the process. The only time you can really hand dye is in the summertime. I was going to film a workshop, but I didn't get that fabric in time. I ordered it months in advance and it never showed. Actually, I still don't have it. I ordered it back in June and I still don't have that fabric. So unfortunately, I haven't been able to record a workshop for the natural dyeing. So next year. But I do have the Quilts Workshop, so you can go check that out and learn how to quilt, because it is, I warn you, it can become like a real problem. It can become quite the obsession, because it is for me. But anyway, I'm off topic again. But yeah, so I was inspired by that quilt and her love for it, and I decided to make an entire collection because she has graduated and she's moved out and stuff. So I wanted to make her a whole collection for her home. I'm going to do the same for my son, but it's going to be a different color. I'm going to do black for him. That's what he chose. So black and a cream or black and a white. And I do have his quilt in the shop as well. It's called the Lincoln quilt, and it's made out of the Swiss cross. I love that quilt. So anyway, you can go check that out. But yeah, so this collection is all blue, and it's just so lovely. So I highly recommend. But so that is the other bag, and my Ohio Star bag has been really popular, and it sells quite often, and it has really great reviews. So if you've made this, thank you so much, man. It's just such a compliment, especially when you get a nice review. But anyway, yeah, so all of my patterns are tech edited and stuff like that, so you don't have to worry about, and I make everything I sell. I'm not just like designing and then posting a pattern without actually making it. I couldn't do that. So but yeah, I make everything because it's become a collection for my daughter or my home or my son or whatever. So everything is like, I've made everything, right? The next one is pouches. So I have these cute little pouches that I made, and I was making them actually before and selling them before I decided to do the quilt pattern route. But yeah, these are a lot of fun to make, and they are quick gifts, quick gifts to make. Yeah, so they're like zippered and lined. This one is just pretty basic. This one I hand quilted though. So big stitch hand quilting. And you can learn, I have a tutorial for big stitch hand quilting on my channel, so you can go and check that out as well. But I love hand quilting. It is just such a beautiful art, and it's so soothing. Like, I really enjoy just sitting and quilting. It's kind of like knitting. It's similar to knitting, but I don't know, there's something about it that is just really, really beautiful and really enjoyable. So if anything, I hope you try it and you really enjoy big stitch hand quilting, because that's brought me a lot of joy. But this is the other version. So I have the Ohio Star, so they're different designs. This one's the Ohio Star, and this is like a sawtooth variety, kind of like the one on the the wall back there. I'm recording from my laptop today, so everything is like inverted and so weird. That over there. I love traditional like quilt blocks and stuff, and I love 2-color quilts. That's my thing. So you'll find a lot of those designs in my shop. I love to keep things just really basic, and I don't know, it makes me happy to do that and to gift that. I think they're so beautiful and basic, and there's something beautiful about basic. I don't know, I'm totally into that. So these are the pouches. This is made with Kona, and then this is like an indigo hand-dyed one. So kind of just show you the different fabrics. I use a lot of Kona or Northcott in my designs just because I enjoy them. I find fabric is a little hardier
Kona
than
Cotton.
the Northcott. Northcott feels a little bit more silkier, slipperier. I find that the Kona grabs a little bit more and it makes quilting even easier. So I do prefer Kona, but not the price tag. So I do a lot of like quilt designs, right? So I go through a lot of fabric, more fabric than a normal human probably ever would. So I buy a lot of my quilts, like I buy in bulk. Like I buy like these huge shipments of bolts. So to save money, I get the Northcott, which is a Canadian company, by the way. So if you're in Canada and you want to support Canadian companies, Northcott is a great choice. And anyway, so the difference between the two I find is that the Kona is a little bit hardier. Like it feels like, I don't know if it's actually thicker. I have to look at that, the ounces. I can't remember now. I did look that up actually, and I can't remember the difference of the two, but I do, like I said, I do find the Kona a little bit hardier. So I made a quilt. So for example, I made a quilt for my son a few years ago, and I had a combination of Kona and linen in that quilt, and the linen wore out so quickly, right down to the batting. I mean, he's tough on quilts, I'll be honest. He's a teenage boy. But the Kona held up. Like out of all of the fabric that I use, Kona is the one that will hold up the longest, I find anyway, in the quilts that I've made, and I've made a lot of them. But yeah, I find that if you want like a heirloom quilt, that you want something to last a really long time, I would definitely use Kona over maybe other fabric brands. Next I use Northcott because of the price difference. So when I use my discount, it's like $110 for a full bolt, and Kona is double that. Like it's $209, I think. So, and that's Canadian dollars, but it's like double the price. So I like to design with the Northcott, but when I'm making something that I want to keep for a really long time or gift my kids something, I'll use the Kona just because I find that it's a little bit hardier. Yes, it's double the price, but I think it actually lasts longer. So just so you know, like if you're curious about quilting cotton and stuff, yeah, those are the quilting cottons that I use for my own quilt. And then actually I designed a quilt. I'll grab it. I was curious about other fabrics, and I actually designed this one using, this again is like hand dyed. I'm not quite done. Like I still have to finish the binding. I have to fold it over and sew it. But this quilt I made, I was just curious about different fabrics, and this quilt I actually designed and made out of a flannelette. It is way more affordable, but it is definitely harder to quilt with. So, but it is quite a bit cheaper. I bought a bolt of it from Amazon, and I think I paid like $100 for it. And I made a lot of things out of it, but I do find that the flannelette is a little bit more difficult to quilt in. Oh, I'm going to pause the video for a second. My husband came in and the dogs started barking and it's a whole thing. So anyway, what was I saying? So I made this quilt with the flannelette, and because I wanted to try something different and maybe a little bit more affordable for other folks to like experiment with hand dyeing. And I did that with the flannelette, and it took color really well. So it's always important to like score your fabric and stuff in order for the color to, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get out of that light, to absorb into your fabric. I have, like I said, I have the recipe on my blog, so you can go check that out and the whole process. But I was really happy with how the fabric turned out. So I don't know if you can see, but the flannelette does pill. So even after, like, 'cause it's processed, right? So this is 100% cotton flannelette. So you can see, like, I did a shibori. I think that's how you say it. It's a dye technique with the indigo, but I did a little bit of a variety with the flannelette just to see what it would do, and I was really happy with the outcome of it. I think it turned out beautiful, but I will say quilting with flannelette it can be difficult, especially if you're brand new at quilting. I found it okay, but it is very thick, so you definitely want a walking foot and maybe a semi-industrial machine. I did this because I was curious. So I did this on my very affordable Brother Domestic. I think it's the CS. Oh my goodness, I can't remember what my machine is right now. Anyway, I'll leave in the description. I have my Amazon list, and it has everything that I use for quilting there if you want to go check that out as well. But that machine is on there. So I have like the Juki, and then I have the Brother, and the Brother was a very affordable machine. I think during Amazon Prime, I got it for like $200 some. So I wanted to quilt using that to kind of see if you could quilt with this thicker fabric and a walking foot, and you can. The thing you're going to run into is the binding, because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers. Is that 2? Yeah, 5 layers of fabric and batting that you need to go through. That was a little bit of a struggle bus, I'll be honest. So, but it like, I'm gonna have to trim it a little bit here on the edge so I can fold this over. But yeah, it is a thicker fabric, so it was harder to quilt. I hand quilted this, by the way. This is gonna be a quilt for my son's cat. I know, that's so funny, right? But it was kind of an experiment, but the design turned out really beautiful. But anyway, so if you are quilting with flannelette, just be mindful that your machine might not like quilting, or like with the binding. It's not going to like that so much. It was kind of a struggle to get it to sew, and I really pushed the machine because I was curious. I wanted to see if others could do it. You can, but it's not enjoyable, and it's a little scary, if I'm being 100% honest. So, but yeah, you can do it. Would I recommend for a machine that you wanted to keep for a while? No, because it is very thick, but it makes a beautiful quilt. I have to say, you could hand sew it, and then you don't have to worry about your machine at all. So I do have a hand sewing or a hand piecing video here, tutorial video as well. If you're not interested in taking my quilt workshop, I do have that here. So you don't need to machine it if you don't want, but it makes the process go a little bit faster, especially if you're like a quilt designer. But if you're just doing this for the enjoyment of it, then I 100% recommend hand piecing and hand quilting. It is so lovely. Really, it is. It's one of my favorite things to do. So, but yeah, so flannelette was okay. It makes a beautiful quilt. Like, it is very thick and warm and lovely. I think that probably my kids are going to steal it rather than give it to his cat. But yeah, so this will be a design in my shop. I will, it'll be listed as regular fabric and not the flannelette, because I think that, especially for a beginner, you're really going to struggle with your walking foot on your machine, and the massive amount of layers that you would have to go through. So, but yeah, I guess if you wanted a lighter weight quilt, you could, delete the batting and just do the flannelette. You could do that too, and it would still be a lovely thick quilt. This one is like heavy, and this is a baby size. So, or is it a throw size? I can't remember right now, but it's a small quilt, and it is quite heavy. So yeah, but that was enjoyable. not the binding so much, but still, like it, you know, you don't have to quilt. You don't have to spend a ton of money, you know, buying quilting fabric. You could use old curtains or old clothes, or that's the way I started. I would cut up my husband's old work clothes and make some, or the kids' old stuff, and I would experiment with different things. And a lot of that doesn't turn out anyway, especially when you're brand new and you're just starting out and you're just, you know, I was quilting on the go. Like, I've never followed a pattern. I have horrible dyslexia. So I find that following somebody else's directions are quite difficult. So I just hand draft my own patterns, and I do that for knitting as well. And I can write a pattern really well, but reading it from somebody else's handwriting is like, so anyway, moving on. So the next thing I was going to show you, and these have been quite popular in the shop since I posted them as well, are the potholders. So this is a set of 3 different designs in one pattern. So I did the Ohio Star, which has been really popular. I love the Ohio Star. I think it's like my favorite quilt block. And I also love the Sawtooth, which is over there. Everything's inverted. So it's so weird. And then this is a bear paw style. And then this is, I think this one is like the 12 triangle or magic triangles. So I did a variety of, I had them folded, so I should have given them a press before showing you, but these are so much fun to make and easy too. So if you're just starting out with the quilting, I suggest something small like this. This would be a perfect beginner quilt project because it's small, you can use scraps, and it's not a huge time investment or anything like that. And you come out with like 3 different designs. You can make all 3 the same design if you want, or you can make all different ones. This is, again, I hand dyed these with indigo, and this is the Shibori. I apologize if I'm not pronouncing it proper, but yeah, it's really beautiful. And again, this is all for my daughter's like new home. So she bought herself a tiny home. I'm so proud of her. She's only 19. So she just graduated and moved out. She still lives on the property though, which I love. But anyway, I wanted to make her a home collection, and my son a home collection when he moves out as well. So I've made a few. Actually, I made a lot of pillows. Some of them she's already taken. The big potty pillow she's already like taken to her home. So I'll show you what I have. This is the newest design. I just posted it. I have to retake a lot of the pictures because I sent my phone away for repairs and it has not come back. That's why I'm recording on the laptop and it's not the greatest. So next podcast will be so much better. But anyway, this is one of my newest designs, the pillow cover with the canvas back and a zipper. So there's some of the pillow covers that I've made that have the envelope back, and then some that have the zipper. So you can choose which you prefer. I used to really love the envelope back, but I've since decided that I love the zipper because it's less fabric. And I am cheap, and because I'm only making these for like our home, I don't put the lining in the pillows like I should because, I mean, production mode, so I don't really care. And also, like, it's extra fabric that I don't want to use for just a liner. And the sun is coming in now and right on my face. I'm going to wrap up soon anyway. So, but yeah, so this is another pattern. I love the Star on the Star. It's one of my favorites. And it's perfectly cut to fit this 20 by 20 inch pillow cover. So that's one. And then this one was a lot of fun. It was actually pretty labor intensive because of how many half square triangles there are. I think there's like 100 in this. It's just crazy. But this was a lot of fun to make. And this has the envelope back, so there's a little bit difference. So this is the envelope back. You know, I had everything folded, so it looks terrible, but anyway, that's the envelope back version. And some of the pillows are made using that, and then others are made with the zipper. So yeah, so that is, I think this one is called Pebbles, I think, but you can use so many different scraps for this because these are tiny little squares, and you can use every kind of scrap you have and make them. You can make them out of old clothes, jeans. I love jeans. Actually, I bought some denim fabric to make this art quilt. I don't know if it'll be a pattern, but it's definitely an art piece, and I'm really excited about that. I was thinking actually of making a collection of denim quilts and then submitting them to my local art gallery for consideration. I don't know. So I'm going to think about that. But anyway, this is the other. This one has been super popular lately. All of a sudden, it's just like flying out of the shop. This is a pattern as well. This is two-tone. I don't know if you can see that. This pillow cover has two tones, like a light blue, a dark blue, and then the cream. Again, these are hand dyed, but you could use whatever color you have. If you have different colors of blue that you could put together or whatever, but this one has been very popular in the shop. And I can see why. Like I think stars are just having a comeback, and I love that because they're like my favorite thing to quilt. I just love stars, and I'm really happy that the stars have like come back. At least it seems like that, because those are the patterns that I've been selling the most of, is like anything with the star design in it. Like, yeah, I noticed that. Like the pillows, the tote bags, the quilts, like the Lemoyne star quilt that I made for Paige, that pattern is also really popular. So yeah, I think that people are kind of coming around to the whole star thing, and I love it because that's like my favorite. So, okay, two more things, I swear, two more pillows, and then we're done. I get so excited about talking about quilts. It's like my thing. I get so excited. I think it's almost a little bit too much, and I'm sorry. But I just love it so much. So this is called Wild One. This is inspired by horses running on the range. Isn't that cool? I love this design. I don't know what, it's probably one of my favorite designs lately. I just love this so much. Again, this is made out of like the Kona cotton. So this is bone, and that's pecan, because I get asked what color is the brown that you use all the time, and it's pecan. So there you go. And it's got the canvas back and envelope, or not envelope, sorry, the zipper closure. Yeah, this pillow is like one of my favorite things ever. So, and my last one, I was going to show you one more. I can't show you the quilts really because it's really hard to hold them up. Like I have two, oh no, one, actually I have two really big queen size quilts, but it's impossible to show that on the podcast. So I'll put up some pictures or something so you can see those as well. But I just don't want to have to hold them up because they're huge, right? So you can go see those patterns on the website too as well. But I actually just finished a quilt top for my daughter. It's her new quilt, and it'll fit a queen size bed, and it is also made with stars. That is what she wanted, and I made it with the indigo dye as well, because that's another one of her favorites. So I'm really excited to get that one done. And then my son's quilt, I still have to finish the back on, but that's the Lincoln quilt, and it's a pattern available in my shop as well. But I haven't decided if I want to tie that quilt or if I want to hand quilt it. I haven't decided how I want to finish that quilt, so I haven't finished it actually, but I mean, you get the whole gist of it. But this is called Cattle Drive, this pillow. So I was watching drone footage of like people on their farms, and he was like it was a cattle drive, and he was pushing his cattle, you know, through the range and stuff, and they had a drone shot of all of the cattle moving in rows, and I was like, I've never seen, like, because usually they're just like sprawled out, and these were kind of like in rows, and I was like, I've never seen that before, and it was just so inspiring and so beautiful with like the landscape being all brown. And so artistic liberty I took, and I did the white for the cows. They weren't all white, but artistic liberty, and I called this cattle drive, and it's more of a modern design than my traditional quilt blocks. I love traditional quilt blocks, but I'm also really inspired by some really simple geometric shaped quilts as well, and this is more modern than I normally make, but I really love this design. So I already cut it just before the video. I pulled it, and I'm like, well, why did I do that? I don't even know why I was doing that. But anyway, I have somewhere like a little hole, yeah, right there. I have to fix it. So but yeah, this turned out really well. I love this design as well, and again, it has the zipper closure for this one. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed my first quilting podcast episode. Please like, share, subscribe, go to my website and download the free potholder. If you subscribe to my email list, you get the free potholder pattern along with a discount code to use on whatever pattern that you like in the shop. So I regularly blog, so you can go and check out my tutorials here on YouTube, or go to the website. I am hosting a free block of the month. I've been doing it since July, I believe. So we end in March, but you can go and catch up. I have all of the instructions and the patterns for each one of those blocks on my blog, so go check that out as well. And I just I just shared a free wall hanging that I thought that was it was to commemorate my anniversary, so it's called Cross Your Heart. You can go and search for it on my website as well and make that. It's really beautiful. So yeah, thank you so much for staying with me if you made it this far, and we will see you again for episode 2, maybe in a month, few weeks, next week. I'm not sure yet. I haven't decided on a schedule, but I will be back. And again, thank you so much for joining me. I really am honored that you're here. Bye now.